Hi, everybody. My name's Tim Painter, and I'm giving you another report on all the activities that are kind of taking place in my life. I'm contemplating some brand new adventures, and I'm really excited. Today, I spent most of the day looking at vehicles, and I guess you could say in my price range, we're not out at the major automobile lots looking at the really expensive trade ins. We're at some of the back lots looking at things that we find. So they're not the real pretty cars that you see when you go to the vehicle dealer. I'm just not in that price range, and I have to kind of face that. I'd like to go and just pluck my money down and buy the newest thing, but that's just not me. So I've got to be a little realistic in what I can afford. I'm also really nervous about making this change that I'm thinking about. I've seen so many people do it, or at least they claim to do it, but moving out of my land-based apartment in the mountains and moving into an RV and doing the nomad lifestyle thing is really scary, especially at my age. I could see you doing it if you were 20 years old or something, but I'm not 20 years old. I'm definitely the baby boomers, and I'm kind of on the tail end of the baby boom. But I'm getting up there in age, and it's just not something that you just do without really thinking it through. I've learned in my life, I used to be very impulsive, and I've learned to be a little more thought through on the things that I do. So anyway, we're out looking at vehicles, and we found a few vans that look not too bad. They're high mileage, of course, and they're older vehicles, but I think they'll work. So I'm kind of excited about the prospect for one of them. It's a Chevy Astro van, and my memory of the Chevy Astro van is it was absolutely tiny for a van, and really more of a mom and pop kind of deal. I'm finding that a lot of people use Chevy Astros in their business and for heavy construction, but it is just a tiny van. And my vision is I was going to have room for a kitchen cabinet and a sink and a little teeny stove, and a toilet. And I'm beginning to think, after seeing the Chevy Astro today, that if I would buy a Chevy Astro, that probably is not going to be the case. But this would be the first one. I think people go through a series of vehicles over time, and for me, this would be the first one. So I'll have to see if maybe it will work. The seller and I are both kind of thinking over our options, whether he wants to sell it for the price I want to pay, which is $2,000 about for a 2003 Chevy Astro. To me, it seemed like a lot of money for a car that old, but as I'm looking online, it looks like there are cars that easily are that old and selling for quite a bit more. And also, when I looked at NADA Blue Book, the trade-in value was about $1,500. And I know that even car dealers sometimes have troubles getting trade-in value or paying trade-in value because people want more for their cars today. But on the other side of it, retail was $3,500, and I don't think many car dealers are really getting $3,500, or if they are, they're offering a bunch of financing to make it work, and I don't want to finance anything. The whole idea of getting into an RV is to reduce my expenses and live as inexpensively as I can as I grow older. So I don't know, $2,000, is that too much? 170 some thousand miles. You know that the vehicle also has a limited life left at those number of miles. The vehicle's in average to fair shape. It needs a new windshield. It also was broken into at one point, and they stole the radio and did a hatchet job on getting it out. So you've got to cover that up somehow just to have a nice vehicle. But the alternative, I'm seeing prices that are just astronomical for some of the things. I don't know how people are getting it. So maybe this will be a fit. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, I just wanted to give you all a report. I know at least on my webpage, there are quite a few people watching and interested, and hopefully we'll gain some more YouTube viewers as well. If you like what you see, please subscribe, because it does make a big difference to me. And I'd love to hear your comments. What are your thoughts? Should I buy this thing or not? Hard decision to make, you know. In life, there just are no easy decisions. I see a lot of people who have a lot of money and can afford big Class B RVs. That's just not me. And I don't resent anyone that has that kind of resources. I wish them the very best. But I just got to be where I am, and that's not spending $70,000 on a Class B motorhome. And really, part of the whole idea here is to be really stealthy. I haven't told you all of my plans, but part of my plans are to slip the cost of daily rental, of weekly rental, of monthly rental, and move into something that's a lot less expensive, hopefully almost rent-free. And there's nothing cheaper than living on the street. Now, I'm sure there are some rules and laws against living on the street, and so I'm going to have to deal with those. And part of that determines where I can go. My understanding is California is getting to be impossible for that kind of thing. But there are people that are blogging right now and who are successfully doing that. And in Colorado, I think it'll be easier, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's ever easy. And you can only spend your time at Walmart for so many nights. I think over time, Walmart gets tired of you. And you also feel like you're a little bit of a lush, that you're staying at Walmart and you're not really contributing as much as you should. And maybe you're becoming a burden. And I would hate to kill the Walmart tradition of being friendly and open to traveling public. That's not fair. I don't want to do that to anybody, because somebody tomorrow might be traveling across country, and because of something I do, that would reduce the chances that Walmart would let them stay. That doesn't make any sense. So that leaves you sleeping overnight somewhere else. And where is that somewhere else? A lot of considerations. How do you outfit a vehicle this small so that it's livable? Livable means you have to have electricity, you have to have a place to go to the bathroom. It would be nice to have a place to shower, but I think I can shower at some of the athletic clubs. I can join one of the clubs for not too much money and shower there. Still, a lot less than paying the huge rents that people have been charging. For my level of living, $1,500 a month is just a lot of money. And I just desperately need to be able to put some money aside, because when you get older, who knows, you need more things sometimes. And at the same time, when I say you need more things, I'm beginning to learn to live without a lot of things. When I moved from my old apartment, as I told people in another video, I put everything in storage, everything. And I mean everything. And I started again all over. And I'm kind of surprised at how much I've accumulated in the short time that I've been out of that apartment and in the new one. I've accumulated plenty. And things I don't need, things that I think Americans live with so many things that they don't need and would be sometimes better off without. And in a certain way, it's hard to explain this, but some people will understand. Things tend to own you. For example, if you have a boat, you have to take care of that boat. If you have a lot of sports equipment, you have to store that sports equipment. If you have lots of computers, you have to take care of those computers and buy antiviruses for those computers. And if you let down your guard and you don't do that, then they tend to deteriorate. And I've got plenty of computers that have deteriorated and aren't worth anything. That's just one little example. But in every single thing, you start to realize how controlled we are in life by the things that we have, and how happy we try to make ourselves by the things that we have. And why those things always bring a smile to your face, some pleasure at some point, some enjoyment at some level, you begin to realize that life is more than just all the things that you can collect. Life has to be more about experiences than it does about all the things that you have. And all the heirlooms that I've had and I've gotten rid of over the years, I don't miss them. They weren't as big of an heirloom as I thought they were. And getting rid of them was a relieving thing instead of a sad thing. Everything has its own life, and you can pass those things on to someone else and let someone else have a life with those things. For example, I had a chair that was probably worth, I don't know, $5,000. It was an old antique chair, and I sold it for $250 to someone. And I know they're enjoying it. I know where it went, and I know that they'll enjoy that chair more than I would have enjoyed it. Yeah, and at the end of the day, when it's time to dig that hole and dump my body into that hole, I'm not going to take all this stuff with me. You can't take the money with you, and you certainly can't take real estate with you. And some people, I guess, have been buried with their vehicles. It's pretty rare, but it's happened. I don't plan to do that. You just can't take it all with you. And so at some point, you have to be prepared to part with it and say goodbye, and let the things go. And that's hard to do. That's always hard to do sometimes, and especially for me, because I used to collect a lot of things. And now to be feeling liberated at getting rid of all of that stuff is really something. Well, so again, if you like what you see, please like it. If you have a comment, you have some thoughts on me buying one of these little minivans and going out and facing the world, living on the streets, and becoming essentially homeless, I'd love to hear it. My name's Tim Painter. Be sure to subscribe, and we will talk to you as the adventure unfolds. Bye.